Welcome, newcomer. So you have decided to know the truth about the Matrix. Very well. Through the decades, mankind have been going through a lot of technological advancements and innovations, and a great part of it came in form of the computers. They have now become a great part of our lives, taking over the world as we, in many ways, end up depending on its use. The movie The Matrix introduces us to a fictional world when machines and computers have taken over. Only this time, it means literally that.
Written and directed by the Wachowski brothers and released in 1999, The Matrix is undoubtedly one of the most iconic sci-fi movies ever made. Bringing up surprisingly philosophical and religious themes unexpected for an action movie, it's also revolutionary from the point of view of filmmaking, using computers and new cameras techniques to create scenes that were completely original in cinema history and that helped the film to achieve the success it did.
One other reason for all this praise was its well-structured plot and characters.
The movie revolves around computer programmer Thomas Anderson, who also lives an underground hacker life by the name of Neo. Since the beginning, Neo believes that there is something wrong with the world, and his suspicions grow even more when he is contacted by two famous hackers and anarchists, world's biggest public enemies, Trinity and Morpheus, who promise him the truth about his reality and something called the Matrix. Anderson hesitates though, and that's when he meets the agents, special programs designed by the Matrix, and then they have a very nice and gentle talk to try to make him cooperate.
You can't scare me with this.
Neo is led to Morpheus by Trinity, then offered the choice: decide between reality or illusion, no matter how overwhelming that truth might be. After choosing the red pill, Neo learned that the world he thought was real was in fact a computer simulation called the Matrix, reality being a much more dystopian future where computers have taken over, using human beings as batteries while living their lives inside the Matrix. The only resistance of humanity is a hidden city, Zion, and its weird, super weird capital ships such as Morpheus' Nebo Schwarzenegger.
In this part, the movie starts to explore one of its recurring themes, the notion of point of view and perception. The movie does that by using the Matrix to question our own perception of reality, showing how bound to our senses we are.
Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth? That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind.
In this thought experiment, Plato describes a group of people that live inside the cave since their birth, look into a wall and the shadows of real things projected on it. So, when a giraffe walked by the cave, they would only see its shadow, for example. However, because the group of people never had left the cave, they never saw a real giraffe, only its projection, and due to this reason, they think that the shadow of the animal is the real animal.
Have you ever had a dream, Neo, that you were so sure was real? What if you were unable to wake from that dream? How would you know the difference between the dream world and the real world?
The Matrix acts just like the shadows in allegory of the cave. People being born inside it and being bound to our scenes as we are thinking that that projection is reality. This duality of what's real and what's just a reflection appears as the recurrent use of mirrors throughout the film. There is a mirror at Neo's side when he first leaves the Matrix, for example, and some scenes are shot using the help of a mirrored surface. That could be a spoon, a building, the rear view mirror of a bike, or even black shade glasses that should obviously fall off Morpheus' face.
The plot continues as Neo learns how to fight and move inside the Matrix, knowing Kung Fu, and comes to know about a prophecy which says that someday Morpheus would find the one who would have the ability to change the Matrix and save mankind from the machines. While Neo questions if he is the one, Morpheus is captured due to the betrayal of one of his crew members, that guy that looked like a traitor since the beginning of the movie, because he couldn't accept reality. Now let's hurry things up. As Neo and Trinity lead a rescue mission, they successfully manage to shoot at everything and kill everyone from the building where Morpheus is locked on. And then Neo goes all slow-mo when Trinity is like, touch this! And then BAM! And then they get on a chopper with a machine gun and wipe everything out of their way so Morpheus can come in and jump, but then, oh no, he's falling! But not really. And then the chopper goes down, but they're okay. So Morpheus and Trinity manage to leave the Matrix, but Neo stays behind to fight the aliens. And then he gets his ass kicked by Aaron so hard that he dies. But not really, cause he comes back and sends him all the way back to Riverdale in a and credits, bam!
But the story is not the only thing to analyze. We can see symbolism in other elements used in the movie. In all the scenes where we are shown the Matrix, we can see in the image a greenish tone that reminds us of the green color of the codes of an old computer.
This color, always present in these scenes, reminds us that, despite the apparent reality of the Matrix, the characters are immersed in a simulation.
We can also see that throughout the movie, the only two objects that draw attention to us is the blue and the red pill at the beginning of the movie, emphasizing the importance of the choice to the plot. This greenish tone is also associated with the mundane, lifeless, normal life that Neo had on the Matrix. This greenish palette is then associated with things such as working, paying taxes, and other actions that are posed as mundane by the capitalist society. As for the costumes, the agents and Neo's group use black clothes inside the Matrix. This makes them stand out from the other alienated population of the Matrix. The agents wear the classic agent stereotype, while the rebels use trench coats, leather, and badass clothing, as the Matrix projects them as they see themselves.
Another interesting aspect to notice is that when humans leave the Matrix, they adopt new names for themselves, names that are out of the system for their new identity. As we see that, Neo decided to take his old hacker names when he left. Names like Trinity and Morpheus. All of this comes up and an alternative of deny the system and fighting back has an entirely different enemy.
We can use all the elements previously shown to understand a different kind of meaning that the movie might have. If we compare our reality to the universe shown to us by the movie, some interesting relations can be made, being possible to compare the Matrix to capitalist society itself and its power to alienate people to keep on going.
Do we have a deal, Mr. Reagan?
You know, I know this steak doesn't exist. I know that when I put it in my mouth, the Matrix is telling my brain that it is juicy and delicious. After 9 years, you know what I realize? Ignorance is bliss.
Most of people were born inside the system. It is very difficult to question what everyone says and believes it's real. The shadows becomes the object itself. Neo and the crew of the Nebuchadnezzar would then be the ones who have left Plato's cave, who saw that the status quo of this capitalist society is not based on truth, but on the interest of a third party, in their case the machines, in our case the bourgeoisie. It is interesting to notice that the agents representing the system are capable of, while in the Matrix, take the place of every human that does not know the truth, and that could be related to the opposition even the lower classes can make against anti-capitalist movements.
And the movie ends with a message of hope. Hope that we will someday surpass the system.
I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you. A world without rules and controls, without borders or boundaries. A world where anything is possible. Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you.
Trini, help! Trinity! Dodge this.
You take the blue pill, and the story ends. Or you take the red pill, and they'll take you to Wonderland.